what's up? This is Breakman X, and we are coming to you not live via satellite, but we are coming to you from basically downtown Los Angeles, where we just saw the Sony press conference. Saw some pretty cool shit. Mr. Robbins, what was your favorite thing of the show?
I mean, hands down, the best thing we saw today was The Last of Us. Any PlayStation fan will buy that game. It was more interesting, at least in my opinion, than the Uncharted 3 video they showed last year, which just kind of felt like this felt like something new. And in contrast to what's kind of been going on, especially with the criticism against like Hitman Absolution, like it feels like a real like adult mature story. And I don't know, but it really appeals to me. And judging by the audience reaction, it was huge. Everybody reacted. And I think that's going to be the biggest game of the show at the moment. I mean, Nintendo obviously happens tomorrow. We'll see. But between what we saw today from Microsoft and Sony, nothing is more interesting than The Last of Us right now.
I was actually really interested in Beyond. I thought that was really fascinating. I really don't know exactly what's going on, but they're having actual acting talent in it, which is pretty cool. And just the entire setting looked amazing. And the graphics were ridiculous. I thought I was watching live action there for a little bit.
Although you have to admit, they hyped it up a lot, and I know they did a lot of motion capture work with Ellen Page, but when they started, I didn't think she looked that good in the first couple of shots, but when they started getting into the close-ups, or when they started leaving her alone, I was really impressed by...
I agree 100%.
I was really impressed with the quality of the motion capture, and also, like, it feels like you're watching a real person in a real performance, and as a result, you're instantly kind of, like, interested, even though they showed very little, really, of the game, except for that cop.
And Roroni Q, being the huge Sony fan that you are, what was your favorite thing?
I actually going to go with Beyond.
Yeah! Oh, yeah.
Beyond was, to me, I have a bit of more of a fantasy leaning. Like, Last of Us was amazing. The realism with how it portrayed, like, actual humans and that kind of actual experience was great. But I can get a bit of a suspension of disbelief in my story, I'm gonna lean towards that just a bit more. So Beyond and that teasing of having this supernatural sort of aspect, that's got me hooked. And Quantic Dream, I mean, Heavy Rain was one of my top games when it came out that year. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to do with a bit more of a supernatural perspective.
Well, you heard it here first. Q now likes the PS3 the best of all three systems. But kind of compared to earlier this morning where we woke up bright and early to see Microsoft, where it seemed like they showed a lot of stuff that we'd seen before, sequels, stuff like that.
Whoa, hang on. Because, yeah, we knew Halo 4 was coming, and I'm a big Halo fan. And
1, 2, 3, 4.
What? Yeah, but I've been really nervous because it's a new developer. Bungie's not doing any more 343, and Halo 4 looked great.
No, I really did. I don't really like Halo, and I'm excited for it.
It really tapped in, and I actually think Halo 4 was the most interesting thing we saw completely from Microsoft. Of course, obviously, I'm really interested in the Gears of War game, but I thought like Halo 4 was a really good step in the right direction for advancing that franchise, keeping it interesting, keeping it fresh, and also showing that it's in good hands. And I don't know, I actually don't understand why they didn't end with Halo 4, because in my mind, Q and I were just talking about this, I was not that thrilled with Black Ops 2. It was just because kind of next-gen Brown explosion, constant gunfire, and Halo, like they had some of the exploration in the alien environments, which I think has always made Halo interesting. So I don't understand why they did. They should have started with Call of Duty and ended with Halo.
Well, they had a great beginning. We were all with them. It was like all awesome and energetic, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna watch some sports on the 360.
Well, I mean, and it was funny too because the energy kind of waned, and like when Usher came out, Usher actually said, "I want to see everybody dancing," and one guy like off to the side stood up. He was really excited. No one else was.
That's what happens when you have your press conference early in the morning. All right, number one Usher fan over here. Your recap of your second favorite console.
I hate you. So Halo 4, actually, I'm going to agree with Eric. It was really solid. I like the new direction. They make it feel like it is a new story, a new experience, but they're still keeping it. It's still going to feel like Halo. They're going to pull in stuff from the UNSC, get a bit more extra lore there. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with that. I agree with you about Black Ops. Actually, the internet's been going crazy ever since this morning about how the Usher thing was ridiculous. And if you'd actually been there, it was pretty cool. Like, there was a lot of energy, even though nobody stood up. And actually seeing the dancers actually dance the moves, and they had it in the background, it was impressive. You had fun. I saw you smiling and digging it.
I did smile. I did
And
dig
you
it.
dig it.
I think the one thing to take away from this year's Microsoft press conference, it is much better than last year. I was impressed with the core focus that they had. It wasn't all Skittles and rainbows and shit. So it's actually, I applaud them for much improving. But I think that Sony has really kind of blown them out of the water. And so stay tuned for more E3 coverage from Padinga.com.